This is Keri Hilson, and you know I got soul.
Okay, last time we spoke, one of the last questions I asked you was if you could see a world where music and acting could happen at the same time. And you kind of left it at, you were focused on the movies at that time. And when you were ready to go back into the music, you wanted to fully commit yourself to that. Well, I guess the
Mhm.
time is now. You're back into the music.
Yeah.
What has it all been like for you? Is it everything that you thought it would be coming back, doing the tours, doing the music, doing the interviews? Is it everything that you thought?
Yeah, it's everything that I thought. It's everything I remember. It's busy, it's sleep depriving, but it's also gratifying, and the fans' reception has been just everything. I actually more than I expected to feel supported and encouraged, and that fans are happy. I'm happy that they're happy. They finally get to hear it. They finally have um, Miss Carrie Baby back in their speakers.
Yes, yes. And when we talked last time, we talked about your goals in the film world. Pretty much had a student mindset,
Yeah.
trying to learn as much as you could, improve
Yeah.
every step along the way. When it comes to the music, you've already put in your 10,000 hours to go. So to go back into it, is the mindset still to be a student and to learn, or like just what's your mentality and your goals like today as an artist?
It's still the same. It's
Yeah.
still the same. I'm just I think that's like a personality trait.
Hmm.
You know, someone who loves being thrust into unknown,
Yeah.
someone that is an adventurer and sees art and in any form
Right.
as a way to create adventure for themselves in life. So I think musically, I've taken some turns. Yes, there are some things that remind you of who I am and what
Yeah.
I've done and what you loved before from before, but
Hmm.
also there are some, detours that I allowed myself to take and adventure into. So yes, it's that, and with acting, it's the same. Like I love being a student of
Right.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, for
yeah.
sure.
Makes
Um,
things shake things up. It makes things fun and releases the mundane and monotony of life.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the reason why it took so long for us to do this interview is because you had released those monologues, those skits, and you kind of
Yeah.
messed up everything that I had planned for my interview because it
Oh,
basically answered everything that I had
oh
planned.
no.
I was like, let me push this back, let me live with the music, let me listen to it. But I
Okay.
was just so impressed by what you were able to put together with those skits because
Thank
in
you.
one way it kind of shifted the narrative for people like myself to focus strictly on the music, but at the same time when I'm watching those things, even though it was, I guess, quote unquote scripted, those look like things that those were conversations you've had with yourself over and over again, it felt like. So just talk about the whole process of putting those monologues together.
Yeah, I mean, it was scripted, but scripted by me.
Yeah.
And, it was like you said, you picked up on it. These are real conversations that the two sides of myself have with each other.
Yeah.
I don't suffer medically in that way, but like
Mhm.
it kind of does remind you, of having that kind of split. You ever seen the movie Split,
Yeah, of
where
course.
he's, I think, schizophrenic or something? And yeah,
Yeah.
so it kind of, reminds you of that. But that really is what it's like to be famous. You have your human self, your child self, you have your persona,
Right.
and they fight sometimes, or they disagree sometimes, or they do agree sometimes, but they might have to have some discussions. And that's literally what it's like, two sides of myself. Yeah. So I had to do it. I felt
Yeah.
like before I release music, I want my fans especially, but everyone to kind of understand who I am, in
Yeah.
a real way, in an authentic way. And of course, that's scripted, but again, it is authentic. It is me, 100% of me. It's more vulnerable than I've ever been able to be with the world. So I'm proud of it for those reasons.
No, for sure. And I have to ask if the two Carries were sitting next to each other right now, what's that conversation like now that you've seen the other side of it, you've put out the music, like what's that conversation like now?
Good question. Famous Keri Hilson.
Yes.
is dancing and rejoicing and, you know, still in some ways dragging Carrie Lynn along.
Yes.
You know, but and then Carrie Lynn is they've compromised. They've
Hmm.
compromised. Keri Hilson, the celebrity, now has to put some breaks in her schedule so
Right.
that Carrie Lynn can feel grounded and be in a position to remain truthful and authentic and genuine, you know, just to really just feel like an actual human sometimes. So yeah, she allows Carrie Lynn to cook and clean and organize and be in the garden and which I'm gonna do today. This is a day of
Yeah.
interviews. It's now evening. I've been going since 7 a.m. Well, I
Wow.
woke up at 6:30 for a TV hit, live TV this morning. And I'm gonna go harvest some vegetables when I take this makeup off and get
Wow.
undressed. So like that's the balance between Carrie Hilson and Carrie Lynn. Yeah.
Right. No, that's amazing. Now we need to talk. I got to tell you, when the first segment just dropped, I was super happy. Number one, to hear your voice again. I felt like it was missed in R&B. But
Mm,
where I'm at in life right now, I'm happy. I'm married and whatnot. So that love segment was perfect for me. But
I love it.
because of that, I
Hmm.
think I missed a couple of things along the way because I was just grooving to each song. I was happy about it. And then when the second segment dropped, you mentioned that go back and check out the track list, check out the sequencing, and really
Yeah.
pay attention to that. So I completely
Yeah. So
missed it
you did
first
that.
the first time go around, I didn't get it, and then I actually re-listened to it. I'm like, okay, there's self-reflection, there's rediscovering self-love, it's finding love, it's going through the whole sequence, and it felt like, and correct me if I'm wrong, this kind of stems from maybe the film world and how you did things over there, and maybe that bled into how you sequenced this album. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but just talk about just the idea of sequencing it in that way, because most people sequence albums based on sonics based on,
Mhm.
tempo, but you based it
Yeah.
on a whole story.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sonics and tempo definitely played into that.
Yeah,
But what was most important for me was the overarching story.
yeah,
Um, and you're absolutely right. My departure from music and into filmmaking
yeah,
was absolutely a huge part, of why things were done the way they were done this time.
right.
And it's funny because I didn't know if I had accomplished it
Mm,
until I started doing interviews and allowing people to listen.
yeah,
And they would say the responses have been, and even with fans online, now that everyone is hearing it,
yeah,
they're like, it's a movie.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm like, rejoicing because I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I've been saying it in a
yeah.
sense like, oh, it's kind of cinematic. Like it's a actually I played it for one of my co-writers, Teron Thomas,
Mm,
and he was the first person to tell me to give me that feedback before I told him. I just said,
wow.
hey, I want to come play the album for you. I want you to
Yeah.
hear it from top to bottom.
Hmm.
And he was the first person to say, this is a movie that you can listen to. It's a movie.
Yes.
He's like, I saw pictures. I saw you in love. I
Mhm.
saw you falling. I saw you serving him. I saw you having, well, not having, he didn't see me have sex, but he just
Yeah,
was like, it was so, it's a book, it's a movie. It's something that you can visualize so easily. And that just makes me proud because that's literally, yeah, you're absolutely you're dead on,
yes.
as far as like, the rhyme and reason. Like I wanted to create a Sonic film.
Yeah. No,
Mm,
and I gotta say, when Searchin' hit, that was like the first song that really stood out to me. It's you and
mm,
Danger back in the studio, Method Man's
yeah,
obviously in it. Like, just talk
yeah.
about the creation of that one because it feels like you and Danger haven't missed a step.
Man, I love working with Danger. I've always
Yeah,
loved working with Danger. I mean, whether it was me, him, and Tim, or
yeah,
just me and him, like that, I feel like we are a dream team. I
yeah,
really do. I feel like anytime he did Naked, he did Searching, there might be others that Danger produced. I
okay.
can't, my recollection is, I'm here
Yes,
with you now.
right.
I don't want to go too far away from
Yeah,
the question, but um, I just really, yeah,
yeah,
that's really just it. I love working with Danger. I think every project I ever do, I always want to have Danger a part of it.
Right. And what about
Yeah.
having Method Man on the record? Because that was
Oh,
a surprise, but it was a nice surprise. I'm like this
yeah.
yeah.
He killed his verse. He
Yeah.
killed his verse. I'm really pleased with his performance, with his lyrics. Like I think it's a really dope verse. And I love having him. He's such a great guy.
Yeah.
I don't think people know or would assume like how dope he is and how open and willing he is to
Mhm.
like his work ethic is through the roof.
Yeah.
And he's just easy and fun to work with. He's cool, calm, and copacetic. Like I that was so I don't know why that was surprising because I think because I have like childhood memories of who this person is.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we have an image that we grew up on and then we meet them and you're like, wow, wait, I respect you even more than I already did.
Right.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that that was possible. So I
Wow.
love now that I know him, I love Method Man even more. He's a stand-up guy. He's solid as they come.
Yeah. And the song is great, so it all works out.
Yeah.
Other records on the album, Scream and Keep It 100, both of these records leaked years ago, but you decided to
Yeah.
keep it for this album. And what
Yeah.
was really cool for me is on the album, a lot of songs I've never heard before, but I can tell that they were recorded at different phases of, your hiatus. What was the importance of including those records on this project? Because I think for me, it kind of as a music fan, it kind of answered a lot of the questions that I may have had. Like, oh, I wonder what Keri Hilson would have sounded like in 2015 as you were going through your hiatus. But that kind of
Mhm.
answered itself as I listened to this album. Like, was that kind of the intention?
That was part of it for sure. Like I
Yeah.
didn't want fans to feel like they missed out on the project they would
Yeah,
have got. Yes.
exactly. Yes.
Um, and also I didn't want to feel like jerked around by hackers. I didn't want to
Right.
feel like I'm being, you know, my arm is being twisted or I'm being handcuffed to
Right.
do new records when I know that the first thing that I said it was the intention. I never wanted fans to feel like they missed out on an era of myself.
Yeah.
So this album was like me making up for lost time, and I just because
Yeah.
people have heard them, they didn't hear them finish. They didn't hear them quite the way they would have, were intended.
Exactly.
But I just didn't want to feel jerked around by
Right.
these like people with ill intents, like to leak my music and force my hand.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, I'm happy those two records are on the album. The other
me
thing I want to
too. Me
ask
too.
is, yes, those are great songs. The other thing I want to ask is, like for me, when the drama segment came out, again, I love the love segment. I could have stayed on that for the whole year.
Yeah, thank
Drama
you.
segment came, I'm like, what am I going to expect from this? Like, what is
Mhm.
Carrie going to be talking about? And I felt like the love portion of it really showcased your vocals. The
Mhm.
drama portion of it really showcased your songwriting. Like, I don't know if
Mhm.
anyone else can write a record like The Hard Way, just the way you arrange that record.
Mhm.
I do want to ask, like, obviously, even with the love segment and the drama segment, these are moments in your life that actually happened, or at least to a degree happened. When you relive those moments by listening to these songs, like, what comes to mind? Like, are you able to fully listen to these songs?
Yeah, I can listen to the songs. I can
Yeah.
barely listen to the calls. The phone calls
Mhm.
are tough for me. I couldn't even listen when it was time to put them in the project. I couldn't do it. It's a
Mhm.
couple hours of a phone call and send them to my manager and I said, you do it. I can't do
Mhm.
it. That's tough to listen to, but I can listen to the songs and there are times when I'm playing it for others and I have to play it in order and I'm like, wow, that was a doozy.
Wow.
It reminds me and my heart even drops when I hear, well, we need to talk, you
Yeah.
know. My heart even drops like cuz I know what that's like to be told that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So sorry, Carrie, you said the voicemails were like the real
they're
voicemails?
real.
Oh
They're
wow, I
real.
didn't even realize that.
Not voicemails, it's a phone call.
Oh, it's a phone call. Yeah, that's right. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, that,
it's like a couple hours and it's real.
wow.
And that it really kind of guided the way that I told the story. When
Yeah.
I decided to be that vulnerable, it kind of helped propel me into the movie because it was
Yeah.
already that. It was already a movie. And it was already telling a story, and that really just kind of sewed it up to let people know, like, no, these are actually real songs. This is actually real
Yes.
raw emotion behind
Right.
this music. I'm glad we added it because it does let people understand, like, no, this actually happened.
Yeah.
Because people are thinking that this is great. Even the promotion I do around it, they're thinking that's great promo. I'm like, well, I'm just actually telling the truth. I'm not actually
Right.
just promoting a project. I'm telling you what has happened to me. I'm telling you where I've been and what I've gone through. And I'm trying to relate to you, but the world thinks that everything is storyline, and
Right.
it's almost like they can't recognize when something is authentic emotion anymore, which is
Right.
kind of sad. Kind of
Yeah.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's just where we are. But I gotta
Yeah.
talk about the record again. That's the latest single. When I listen to this record, because mind you, at this point, I'm fully invested into the drama series. Each song, I'm with you. I understand where you're coming from. And then again comes out, and I just throw my hand in the air. I'm like, Carrie.
Like, why would you do that? What are you doing?
And it's super counterintuitive, but we've all been there. But just
Hey, man,
we've
we've
all
been
been
there.
there.
Some people have done
Yes.
it multiple
Yes.
times with
Yes.
the same person or with
Yep.
others. Like, I can't even say I've only done it with one man.
Of
Like,
course, yes.
it's just it's just the reality of life, and that is important, I
Yeah, of
think. If we're all being honest, we've done things we're not proud of, you know?
course. Yeah.
And this is one of them. But the message is also there. Like,
Yes.
okay, you gotta be it's also, telling people like, and that's not intentional, but kind of in the layers of this, of what you
Yes.
actually hear, you're also sensing the strength being found. Like, oh, I
Right.
can't do that. I shouldn't be doing this. I can't
Yes.
do this anymore. It's just we're going round and round and round and round. It's not, you're hearing the beginning of a realization that leads us into the redemption story. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I mean,
That's
I gotta
why
ask.
it was important to be honest, because that's
Yes.
what happens before you call it quits. You go back and forth, you give it a chance, you listen, you believe in someone's change. You say, all right, in your mind, you're like, I'm gonna give it 3 months. Let's just see what I feel and if he actually has the tools to do what he's claiming he can turn this around,
Right.
and I learned that usually that's not the case.
No.
Usually people
Right.
believe more in themselves than their capability level,
Yes. Yes. No,
And
for sure.
I learned it's not worth it. But yeah, it leads us to redemption though. It does.
Well, before we even get to the redemption, is it
Hmm.
maybe it's just me, but I felt like you put again at the end of drama as almost a cliffhanger because when I listen to again, I'm like, what the heck's gonna happen next?
Yeah,
So I do have
yeah.
to ask you, and I know you
Okay.
can't spoil redemption, but
Yeah.
what is happening next?
Redemption is happening. Like, no, I
Right.
don't want to tell. I want people to listen.
Yes.
I can say that this is the part where the victim goes to victory.
Hmm.
You know, like
Yeah.
this is the part where women can see themselves rising out and away from things that no longer serve them, relationships,
Hmm. Yes.
careers, whatever that is for you.
Right.
This is the part where you find your strength. This is the
Right.
part where you have just so many realizations. And
Hmm.
that to me is what makes it beautiful. And it also gives um, brevity to all the drama that we've just encountered on the
Right.
project or in our lives, and it's just, I also want to give women courage,
Yes.
that I don't want to tell the story, but
No,
yes,
for sure.
yeah, those are my intentions. Those are my intentions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think what's really cool about how you sequence this album is depending on what people want their eventual outcome to be, like maybe for
Hmm.
some after Act Three, after Redemption, what they want is to go back to Act One and feeling how they felt
Hmm.
during the Love series,
Hmm.
but maybe that's not for everyone. But yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
excited to see what comes next of that. And I think what comes after that should be some type of film, some type of movie, because I think that would be really cool. Because I think
Yeah.
music wise, you visually painted the picture for us, but it'd be also pretty cool to see it in action.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree. I think a project, a film, even a short film,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
a Broadway, like a play.
Yes.
Like that's an idea that I've had since well before we released. I was like, we should probably, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Make this, it's already visual, it's
Yeah.
already cinematic, and audible cinema, but that is, it's something I'm seriously considering more now. Yeah.
Right. Right. No, that's amazing. And then just a couple more questions here. The acting, I know you were out in
What I
Vancouver.
will do,
Yes.
what I will do
Yes.
is on stage play this out.
Yes,
What I
please.
will do is play this out in order on
Yes.
stage.
You have to
And
do
that
that.
is the plan. So hopefully there is a tour within the next
Yes.
year.
No,
Hopefully
that's
within the next year I'll get to take this show on the road, take this album on the road.
no,
Yeah.
that would definitely be exciting. Speaking of the acting, I know you were out in Vancouver earlier in the year. That's where I'm at. So
Okay,
I know you've been doing some movie stuff as well. Is that something we can look forward to on the
for
horizon as
sure.
well? Okay.
Yes, for sure. All
Yeah.
day, absolutely. I just auditioned last week for another
Okay.
film. Um, and I do hope I get it.
Yeah.
I sometimes I'm auditioning just to keep my tools sharp. And
Yeah.
there are times when I'm auditioning because I really, really want this role. And this is one of those. Like I would love to play that.
Yeah.
So this is one of those. And yeah, yeah, you'll absolutely see me on the screen still,
Okay.
hopefully.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then
Maybe
lastly,
not as
Karen.
often because I'll be, music does keep me busy, but
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep all the irons in the fire,
Yeah.
and keep using all of my talents.
Yes. No, you have to do that. And Carrie, just lastly, I was talking to a good friend of both of ours, Tony Dixon, earlier, and one
I
of the
love
things that
Tony.
we were just talking about just how amazing you are, but also just how much of a music nerd you are. Like I was surprised at some of the records that you even know that when we posted it, you knew it, and he felt the same way. And obviously, with D'Angelo's passing, I know you made a post recently. I know you're a huge D'Angelo fan. I
Mhm.
know you kind of touched it on your Instagram, but like, what did D'Angelo mean to you and your career and in his music?
Ah, that is, first of all, rest in peace to his friends and family. I mean, my condolences to his friends and family. I've been heavy ever since.
Yeah.
D'Angelo is someone who so many of us have this like immense respect
Yes.
for his artistry,
Yeah.
his ear, his craft, his musicianship, his rebellious way,
Hmm.
of making art. And I believe I was in either like middle school age, maybe I don't know what grade I was in, but I know that he was super impactful throughout my high school. I think I was maybe coming into high school
Hmm.
when he came out, but like the soul, like
Yes.
just I don't know his arrangement. There's so many the horns, like there's so much about him, and I actually wanted to work with him. I tried
Mm.
around my first album,
Okay.
and I had asked my people to try to locate his people, and they said
Right.
at the time he just wasn't working. But
Yeah.
some reason now, like it's like it feels like a regret, even though I did try. I
Yeah.
feel like, man, I wish I tried harder. Like I wish I had just like shown up somewhere and tried to have that, or like just tried to make a personal connection. Like I really feel like, man, that was like a dream that I can never ever accomplish again.
Right.
So I've been not, just I've been kind of grieving it in my own artistic way. I've never
Of
met him. I
course.
don't,
Yeah.
but my respect is just, but I'm glad that he left his mark. I'm glad that he impacted so many musicians, artists, people. He inspired so many people that can now he lives through everyone that he
Yes.
inspires. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, no, and the amazing thing about D'Angelo, if you really think about it, he had three albums and it's the time span between each album was years and
Mhm.
that's something that we
Mhm.
can all take away. And that's something I commend you for as well as you took the
Mhm.
time to figure things out before you got back here. I mean, it was a
Mhm.
huge hiatus in between, but I think you did
Mhm.
it the right way. So I appreciate that
Mhm.
about you too, Carrie.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, anything that you'd like to add?
Um, no, actually, feel like those were great, insightful, thoughtful questions, and they were not your typical. I feel like we covered some good ground here.
Sure.
I'm excited to see. I don't know if you're putting this out continuously or if you're
Yeah.
like editing, clipping it, but I feel like we said everything. Other than
Yeah.
that, I would say like I hope everyone listens. I hope they listen in order. I hope they appreciate it as much as you do.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you to you.
Yes.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for being thoughtful. Thank you for intending to ask the questions that you want to know, because I'm sure other people want to know what
Yeah.
you went. So I do interviews, right?
Yeah.
Obviously for a living. That's part of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there are some that are more surface,
Hmm.
like Carrie. What do you cook on Thanksgiving? There's
Yeah.
very surface interviews, and then there's interviews that I feel like, oh, this is why I do this. I love
Right.
when I get to really talk about like the creation and the
Yes.
intention behind things and the reason why
Yes.
blank, like I love, so thank you for that kind of interview.
For
And
sure.
it energized me in a certain way and inspired me in a certain way. And that's it. Yeah, thank you.